Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Keldamuzik. She is a multi-talented hip-hop artist, actress, TV show host, and designer of Tams Barrett's. Welcome to the show, Kelda.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Ajay.
You are welcome to the show, Kelda. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to discuss right now. We'll be talking about music, motivation, and mental health associated with it. But first, to understand about you, Kelda, help us understand who is Kelda Music. What is your background? How did you get started into this? A lot of people, especially in this part of the world, who would like to understand more about you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yes, I'm Keldamuzik. I'm a hip hop recording artist, actress, talk show host, entrepreneur, and designer of my line of berets called TAMS. I've been in the entertainment industry since I was about 5 years old. Um, from going on auditions, going to different acting and modeling schools, going on go-sees, photo shoots, all of that. And it stayed with me. I couldn't let it go. And as I got older, I started modeling, and then I even started singing at one point, and I created a whole album, an R&B pop album. And then when I got to my late teens, that's when I started taking my music career seriously and I started rapping. I used to write a lot of poetry. I used to write my own movie scripts that I would broadcast on public access. And one day somebody told me, "You have so much writing talent. Why don't you apply it to music? And you're such a talented performer, entertainer." And so from there, that's when I said, "Okay, great. I'm going to start making hip hop music. I'm going to be one of one of the females to come out in the mid 2000s with a hip hop album." And I did, and it was really successful. I was signed to Squad Music Group here in California in the Bay Area. I've toured in Tokyo, Switzerland, throughout the Caribbean. I have music placed on Real Housewives of Atlanta, also on Sony Entertainment platforms. And I have music placed on MTV as well as the Oxygen channel and VH1. So nowadays, being a music artist, you can't just be that. You have to expand your talents, right? You have to give it all you got because the music industry is so overpopulated that you have to forcefully turn yourself into a multi-entertainer now. And at first I just wanted to do just music and then yeah, a little acting here and there. But next thing you know, I'm in a film, and then that film makes it to Hulu, and it's called First Date. And then I get cast to be in a play, and I'm getting all these reviews written about me for being in a play. It was called How Black Mothers Say I Love You, directed by Tanika Baptiste. And then after that, um, I started producing my own short films that made it into film festivals in Hollywood, and attending the film festivals and rubbing elbows with people who have the same interests as me. And then I started my berets called TAMS. Every artist, every entertainer has their own merchandise, their own brand. And I figured, berets haven't really been branded within the hip hop community, especially from a female. So I said, why not? So yeah, I do it all. I love it. And I can't see myself stopping anytime soon.
Right, right. And tell us about your, fashion line. You have moved into entrepreneurship. You are few of those people who have been able to do that. A lot of time, music takes so much of your time, creation, marketing, and all. So I want to understand first about your fashion line, and then I'll come to the other questions.
Yeah, yeah. So my fashion line is Tams, which is the berets. And because of that, since 2022, I've been hosting fashion shows. I've been producing fashion shows. I've been gathering everyone for fashion shows, from the models, the designers, the venue, the promoters, the promotion, the PR. And it opened up a whole new world for me for Keldamuzik, um, to the point where I'm I'm not only hosting the fashion shows, but then I perform at them as well. And my whole goal with the berets is to hire the non-traditional model to walk in my show. It doesn't matter what size you are, what age you are. It doesn't matter what height you are, because I know that's really important in the model fashion world. It doesn't matter what background you have or anything. This right here is damn near for all walks of life. If you want to put a
Right.
dog in a beret, he could be on the runway too. And because of that, I've opened doors not only for myself, but for all of the models that have walked for me, to where they're modeling for other designers in the show, and they're getting opportunities to model, act, or even perform at other venues. And so it's just, with me and my brand, it's expanded in so many ways, and Tams has done wonders for me. I've actually donated over 30 Tams berets to two nonprofit organizations. One is called Boldly Me, and because I did donate, they actually invited me to come speak and tell my story at their annual fundraiser. And their nonprofit is geared towards women who have alopecia. So I told my story, as far as, being a Black girl who's, had issues with her hair and always wanted to cover it up. And so, eventually that's where, the berets came about. And it's not really to cover it up, but it's to enhance. You know what I mean? No matter what your hair looks like, it's to enhance your look, your appearance, and how you present yourself. And it makes you kind of, act a certain way too. You feel just more sophisticated when you're wearing a beret. But yeah, this fashion line has opened many doors for me, and it's opened many doors for others that work with me.
Right, right, Kalda. So I want to understand the motivation of not just the music part of it, but also venturing into entrepreneurship. That's a lot of, not only hard work, a lot of, creativity also involved, a lot of uh, managing with a lot of other people at the same time. How did you get this inspiration as well as motivation, and now you are an inspiration for a lot of people across the world? And especially I liked about this non-traditional models. Why non-traditional models? Why to go into a unbeaten path and create a new path? Is there any story behind that, or I want to understand that for the audience.
Yeah, yeah. No, there is a story behind it. When I was younger, I had braces, and I was going through my modeling phase. I went to like 3 or 4 modeling schools, and I would go on go sees. I had comp cards, all that stuff. And I remember just everyone telling me, "Yeah, you're too short. You have braces. We're not looking for African American females right now. You're too young." So it was always politics that I was dealing with. And for me, I knew I was a great model. I was great on the runway. I'm great at posing, wearing different outfits. I look great in anything that I wear. And so the motivation behind that is always getting turned down, always getting told you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna accomplish anything, so go away. That's what made me ultimately, um, when I created TAMS, the first thing I thought about was, hey, if you're a local customer who bought my beret and you want to walk the runway and feel like a model for a day, come on. And then, not to mention my fans who bought my berets. I said, come on. I want to represent the non traditional model when it comes to the berets. I want everyone to feel comfortable with what they're wearing. And it just really shouldn't matter what you look like. If you have the drive, the passion, and um, the just the idea of wanting to do this, there shouldn't be anything that stops you. Your height shouldn't stop you. Your looks shouldn't stop you. Your weight shouldn't stop you. You know what I mean? And so that's the purpose that TAMS provides. It's a platform for anyone who wants to feel like a queen for a night or a king for a night on the runway.
Wonderful, wonderful. Where did you get all this motivation from? Where do you get now? Where do you get earlier on? Is it by yourself, or there are people in your life who help you? In case there are people, help us understand also those people who aspire to be women entrepreneurs, women artists, who can find those right sort of mentors who can continue to inspire them, motivate them, and also the art of self motivation, because that is also very important.
Yeah, definitely. I get my motivation from my grandmother on my dad's side. Rest in peace to Grandma Mandy. She was a businesswoman, she was an entrepreneur. She helped a lot of kids get into college. She was just a really humble, hardworking woman. And she raised five boys and still went back to school to get her bachelor's degree and still managed to raise her children, keep food on the table, a roof over their head, clothes on their backs, making sure everyone's going to school, getting good grades in school. So, like, in a way, she had this hustler mentality, this go-getter mentality. And although it wasn't in the music business, it was more, on the education side of things. She she had motivation and she had drive. And one thing that she always told me was, don't let anything stop you. Accomplish your dreams, your goals, however you have to get it. Just do it, you know? And so that's who I really get my motivation from. And on the music side of things, I get it from my grandpa, which was her husband. Rest in peace to Grandpa Melvin. He was a famous musician in Modesto, Stockton area, which is here in California, in the Valley. But he played pretty much every instrument out there. He played the flute, saxophone, clarinet, drums, piano, keyboard. Oh gosh, he just had this huge passion for music, to the point where he actually got hired to host a radio station at a university, and he would bring me on his show, and he would bring my cousin on the show too, and he would give us a chance to read the scripts, and read the commercials and do the shout outs to sponsors and stuff. And he was like, hey, you never know who's going to hear this one day, so give it your best and be professional. Mind you, I was only like 7 or 8 years old, and it's funny, I never mentioned this before in any of the other interviews that I've ever done, but my grandpa was the first one to put me on the spot on a live radio station and allowed me to be me, to showcase my talents. And again, those two um, are the people that motivate me in my life to keep doing what I'm doing.
Wonderful, wonderful, Kelda. So, in terms of this music industry, what is happening? Has it become more challenging for musicians, any sort of artist, or is it much more now democratized because technology has come in, and
Hmm.
there people have more options, especially indie music creators. They have more options. How do you look at that? As well as technology, when I meant artificial intelligence has also come in, where it's a big challenge because artificial intelligence is also creating music, and that can act as a substitute for original creators. I want to get your point of view on this, so that others can also get some guidance in all parts of the world.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. First, I want to say sorry about the sweat. I just got done working out, so. But yes, so the music industry is it's overpopulated right now, right? You have a new artist every day that puts themselves out there, and then you have the streaming game, right? And then like you said, you have the AI tools now, right? That could technically write a song for you and make a beat for you, whatever you want it to do, right? Um, when I first came out in 2005 with my very first album, the only reason why it was a challenge for me because I was a female in a man's game, in a man's industry, and there, at the time there wasn't a Nicki Minaj or Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B or anyone. The game was kind of dry when it came to females in the hip hop industry. So it was a challenge for me. It was hard trying to get signed. It was hard trying to get PR. The only thing that I was able to get were shows, and that's fine because I'm a performer. I'm an entertainer. So but then a few years down the line, once the industry started opening up more to female rappers, because of artists, like Nicki Minaj, who came out and built a foundation of female rap again, that's what opened doors for me and for a lot of other female rappers. And now, it's 2024. The industry is so challenging that you do have to wear other hats. And again, that's where, I put my entrepreneur hat on and I run my company, Diggs Media Group, where I manage and book other artists. That's how the fashion line came about. That's how producing and being in films came about. You really have to expand yourself now as an artist because it's kind of like everybody makes music. You know what I mean? And there could be like a 15-year-old that just logs on TikTok and does a cover
Right.
song of Taylor Swift or Eminem or 50 Cent or Beyonce, and next thing you know they go viral and they're getting endorsement deals and paid to be an influencer, and that was just the first and only thing that they've ever done. You know what I mean? So it's just the game is kind of twisted right now. It is all about digital media and social media, and you really just have to know your niche. You have to know your market, your audience, and how you want to present yourself to your audience and what kind of followers that you want.
Right, right, Kelda. And then when you see all these things, it can impact you mentally also, because you work so hard, and then suddenly you will find that original music is so tough sometimes to put it out to the world, and just doing a cover, or just singing someone else's song, that is bringing you much more fame. But an original artist will not be able to do that because they have to focus on their own music, and many a times it can create that pressure on your mind, because you got to pay bills, as well as you have got to also make sure that so how does one take care when one is in, especially in an artistic career, in a creative career, in a music career? How do you do it for yourself? Did you face any of these challenges? Do you see these challenges? What is your advice on this for people to be aware of themselves? Mental health awareness is there, also at the same time. Help us
Yeah.
understand.
Definitely. So it's funny. I did a speech not too long ago with this organization called Return of Citizens, and my whole speech was discussing how you may have a goal, but and you may have stars in your eyes, whatever the case, right? You may have money in your eyes. Always have a backup plan. That is the only thing that is going to save you. You need a safety net to fall back on, right? So, whether you want to be an artist, actor, model, fashion designer, athlete, you always want to make sure you have something else to fall back on. And I've always made sure of that. And my parents always told me that. Um, there were times where I just wanted to hurry up and graduate school early so I could move to Hollywood and become the star. But you have to think about it. There's about 100,000 other people doing the same thing as you. What makes you different? That's great. You left high school early to go pursue your dream in LA, but okay, then what? You can be waiting tables and doing these odd jobs for the rest of your life, waiting for this career to happen. So my advice is always have a backup plan, and that's where your education comes in. That's where you've developed skills in other areas of 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 conducting a business. Whether it's accounting, whether it's management, whether it's administration. And for me, I always fell back on business management. And that's why I have my company, Diggs Media Group, that I could always fall back on if I don't decide to do this anymore. Okay, great. Well, I have my own digital marketing PR agency to where I can represent other clients and just kick back and relax. You know what I mean? So, um, because this industry is very tricky, it's not guaranteed. And even if you are going viral on social media, TikTok or whatever, that still doesn't guarantee you income, sustainable income for the rest of your life. So again, always have a backup plan and develop other skills. During COVID, we all found ourselves developing skills that we didn't know we had because we were all finding a way to keep the income coming in, to stay busy, to just have the things that you want in life. So you just got to work hard and expand yourself. Don't just stick to one thing. Try to be an octopus. have as many have as many hands in as many things as possible, many projects as possible. So yeah, that's my advice.
Right, right. So in today's time, when a lot of people might be doing the same thing, how do you create a niche for yourself, create some specialty about yourself, create that difference for your audience? How do you do it for yourself, Kelda? From other artists and entertainers.
Yeah.
And
So
in the same vein, your alias is Diva. So help us understand that part also along with that.
yeah, so my whole brand is diva. Um, it's an alias, right? We all have an alias. Nicki Minaj has Barbies, Beyonce has the Beehives, Meg The Stallion has the Hotties, Keldamuzik has the Divas. So when it comes to building your niche, your audience, you really have no choice but to be yourself. When you are yourself, you're going to meet and know other people just like you. And you're going to surround yourself and gather those people that are just like you, that have the same interests as you, that shares the same thought process as you. You're going to meet those people, and those are the people that are going to follow you. Whereas some artists, or a lot of artists that are signed to a major label and have the corporate machines working behind them, it's a little different. Everything's kind of like shaped for them already, right? Like, okay, you're an artist, you do pop music and you dance and you make love songs, so let's make sure we post a lot of love themed content on your page because that's what you're about. Or if you're a lounge singer, let's have a lot of pictures of you in a lounge on all your social media, and so you attract people who listen to that type of music. So same thing with me. being a diva, being a hip hop artist, and all the many other things that I do, I have a following of the divas, women who are sophisticated, classy, still sassy, and have an entrepreneurial mind frame. And at the same time, you let your hair down when you want, have a drink, hang out with friends, and you're just like this multi-talented business sophisticated woman. And that's what a diva is, and that's what I attract.
Right, right, Kelda. In terms of planning for the future, how? Because nowadays, if you see, things are changing so fast. You plan something today, by the time you execute it, things have changed, especially with technology coming in. So how do you plan your business, your music, uh, for the future, also your life, because things are much more dynamic than they were, say, 5 years before.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Again, with AI doing everything for us, it's kind of like we're going to be in jail in a way, because they're doing everything from, yes, music. You have all these AI tools now that market and promote your music for you. Um, and then you have the AI tools that gather bots to follow your social media, you know what I mean, to make you look bigger than what you really are. You have bots that can speak for you now, that can translate languages for you now. Here in San Francisco, you have Ubers that are driving with no one in there, just the
Right.
passengers, right? So it's AI controlling everything. And I think as we continue, to live life, we kind of just have to let AI take its course and still do what you do, but you kind of have to align yourself with AI. You have to work that into your agenda now, right? For instance, we I don't even go grocery shopping anymore. I Instacarted or DoorDash or Uber Eats, and now they're starting to incorporate robots that deliver your groceries to you now. But the
Right.
thing is, AI is not fully developed yet where we could really rely on it, because there are some failures here and there. And some people get killed in those failures, right? Or lose money in those failures. So, point being is AI is going to be here for a very long time. They're already taking over a lot of jobs for people. They're also conducting business for business owners. They're even doing surgery for plastic surgeons now. And then, yeah, from music, they have so many tools now that you could record yourself and use AI to do the mixing and mastering for you. AI to do the marketing and PR for you. AI to write letters to people now. You know what I mean? Where you just write a few words in a AI spelling reading tool, and it'll put together a whole article for you. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do is just align yourself with AI, but still don't lose the naturalness that you have for yourself, whether you're a musician, a business person, or whatever. You always want to stay as authentic as possible. You don't want to let AI totally take over you. Manage AI so that it works best in your favor and not for itself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Those are great words of wisdom. And a lot of people who would like to learn more from you, about your music, about your Tams Barretts, and so much more. What is the best way for them to connect with you, Kelda?
Yes, just visit my website. It's keldamuzik.com. That's KELDAMUZIK.com. And you will see everything I have on there, from my music, uh, the TAMS, my Business Digs Media Group. I even have a podcast. And you'll even see a TV show that I had, Diva Talk Tonight. My I like to call it Diva World, but that's what Keldamuzik website is all about. When you visit there, you'll get lost and so busy looking at so much stuff. It's like, whoa, I can't stop browsing through this website. So that's how you get in contact with me.
Wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ajay.